Good morning, everybody. I'm sitting here in my backyard enjoying watching the geese fly south with my little Timmy's mug of coffee, or actually it's tea. I don't drink coffee. And I'm thinking about some stories in my past I'd love to share with you guys. And it's deeply personal, but I think it'd be really helpful to you. I was finishing editing my book yesterday, which is called Think Again. You can go to my website and you can grab yourself a pre-registration for a copy, free copy when it comes out soon. But a lot of this book is predicated on kind of how I grew up and how my thinking had to change in order for me to really come into my full self. And when I look back, when I used to work in corporate Canada, I kept getting fired or I kept quitting jobs. And I have always wondered why that happened. Even when I started my own business, I would keep flipping and changing the business model like every 12 to 18 months. You know, I was consulting, then I was a coach, then I was a trainer, then I was an agency, now I'm back to coaching. And it was getting exhausting, and I just did so much soul searching as to why this happens. And what I realized I was doing is a whole bunch of self-sabotage. And you think, okay, well, like, why am I sabotaging myself? So, you know, you may have experienced something similar. So maybe going through a whole bunch of different relationships. You could be maybe moving around a lot, whether it's, again, in your work, in your career, and how you structure your business and so much stuff like that. And so what I realized was there was a sort of a message that was delivered when I was younger through the religious group I used to belong to. And I'm not entirely sure, I don't think it was like one person who taught this, but I studied the Bible a lot, I read it a lot, and I took it like letter of the law. And one of those letters of the law was that if you felt really proud of yourself, or if you felt really big inside, like, yeah, you know, I'm really good, that was bad, that it was considered vain, and that you would probably be punished for that. And so what I would do is anytime I actually felt good about myself, I'm thinking, oh my God, like, I have to stop. Like, I can't feel good about myself because it's wrong. And what would happen in those moments is I would do something that would screw me up. So I would make a mistake at work. I would mess up a relationship. You know, I would do all these different things that would ensure that I actually wasn't successful. And until I recognized that I had deeply internalized this sense of not being good enough, of not being worthy, of not being valuable, and that being valuable was wrong, and being proud of what I was doing was actually wrong. Until I identified that, I couldn't get rid of that incredible, destructive cycle of self-sabotage. But the good news is I did. And if you are going through something similar, if you're finding that, you may be in a good relationship, and all of a sudden you just become really sad about it. You're like, I want to leave it. I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe it's the work you're doing, and suddenly you're like, I don't like this anymore. And then you leave it. Or what I used to do is I used to start a new job and instantly start looking for the next one, because I just had this sense that it wasn't going to work out. When Mark and I first met, I had so deeply internalized this feeling that I wasn't worth anything that I told him when we first started dating, within 6 months you're going to go. And then 6 months rolled by, and I said, well, you know what? The average is 12. So, you know, but about 12 months, you're going to get sick of me, and that'll be the end. And 12 months rolled by. And he's like, you can stop saying that now. Like, I like you. And yet I kept fearing that. And that fear of him leaving me, of him finding me not good enough, stayed well beyond when we got married, right? For probably a couple of years. We've been married now for 6 years, together for 7, and I can happily say that I don't think that anymore. But it took a lot of hard work. And again, you know, now that I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, that's me trying to sabotage a perfectly wonderful, the most amazing relationship I've ever had. And what if I'd actually succeeded? You know, I'm extremely blessed to be where I am today, but what if I'd succeeded? And it makes me sad to think all the opportunities that I lost because I had so deeply ingrained into myself, into my mind, my heart, and my soul, that I wasn't good enough. And because I believed it, I made that my reality. But because I have worked so hard at pulling that away and saying, no, I am good enough, and being good enough is good enough, and this is great, and I can be proud of myself. I've made some really great inroads. into stopping those cycles of self-sabotage, I still have to watch myself every day. It takes a long time to get rid of that kind of a way of thinking. But so I want to challenge you, if you find yourself, again, moving around a lot, whether it's in relationships, in your career, in your business, in the way you've structured your life, or it could be even like physically moving all over the place, ask yourself why that's happening. Where does that come from? Are you moving because you're trying to get ahead of rejection? Are you moving or trying to kill something before it hurts you first? And it just makes me so sad to think that was me for most of my 40 years of existence. But that doesn't have to be me for the next 40 years of my existence, and I'm extremely excited about that. So I hope you guys have found this helpful. This is a deeply personal video, and I've shot it because it's something I've been thinking about for a long time, and obviously just going through my book again, which is all about how I went from thinking things like I'm not good enough is just one of the things that I had inculcated into my existence that I've had to work really hard to pull myself away from. But again, the book is all about how I came about figuring it out and what I have done since to actually stop those bad thought patterns and bad habits from controlling my life. And I hope that they don't control yours either. Okay, guys, peace out. I hope you guys are enjoying your wonderful day at this beautiful end of summer. And if you have any questions about this, if you want to know more, please let me know. You can go and get it registered for my book at RebeccaMountain.ca. Just look up book at the top and you can get your free copy. Have a great day, guys.